Hi everyone, I'm Sandy and welcome back to my channel, Sandy's Happy Plants. Today I want to make a quick little video and show you how you can easily propagate a rubber plant or rubber tree or Ficus Elastica, whatever you want to call it. But this is a really easy method that you can use at home to propagate your own rubber tree and grow a big, beautiful rubber tree like this. So let's do it. So propagating a rubber plant or rubber tree is super easy. All you need is, well, first of all, a rubber tree and you need some snips and you need some water, a jar or vase or bottle of water. I'm using my trusty prune bottle because I like the way they look, and I don't know what that tells you about me that I have so many Patron bottles, but let's not talk about that. And you also need some paper towel or a rag of some sort, and I would recommend wearing some gloves while doing this because the sap that comes out of the rubber plant is kind of irritating to the skin. It can be, so I like to wear gloves. If you don't have any gloves, just be careful not to get it on your skin. So yeah, so that's what you'll need. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is look at your rubber plant and identify which piece that it is that you want to cut so that you can propagate it. So rubber trees or rubber plants, basically, if you don't prune them, they just grow like a big long stick. So you can see here, this is just one big long stick. There's no branches coming off or anything. So what happens actually if you do prune them, if you cut them, they will eventually branch out. As you can see, I have done with this one. I'll lift it up and I'll show you. You can see a little bit closer. There's a couple pieces here. This was one stem. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, this was one stem here in the middle, and I've cut it so many times that it branched out really nicely. It made a bunch of different branches. Same with this one over here. You can see there's branches branching out everywhere, and that's because I have cut it. Pot's making weird noises. Anyways, so that's one thing to know about rubber trees, that if you don't cut them, they will basically just keep on growing like a big long stick and nothing much is going to happen. Sometimes they spontaneously branch out, but most of the time they just end up growing like a big long stick. So that's another reason why I like to prune them and propagate them. So if you're going to prune them anyways, then you might as well propagate the piece that you have to prune off, right? So yeah, so the first thing you want to do is identify which one you want to cut. So in this case, I'm going to take this one, this big long one right here, and I'm going to look at the overall plant to see what it's going to look like when I cut it so that it still looks nice overall. And so it kind of looks like if I cut it around here, it'll look nice. And I'll show you where I cut other ones before on the other side. Oh, that pot is making really loud noises. Right here is where I made a cut before. I'll angle it up a little bit. And you can see right here, this is where I made the cut. And then here's the new growth that came out. And this one hasn't branched out too much yet, but we'll see what happens. Maybe it will eventually, because the other ones did. So yeah, but you can see how much it's grown. And that's this section right here. This section right here. There's 1, 2, 3 leaves and one coming. This is about about a month, or yeah, I think this is a month's worth of growth. I made another cut on the other side, and that's 2 months. So this is about a month's worth of growth. So that's pretty good. Another thing to keep in mind is the best time to do this is the spring or the summer. You can do it other times too, but the spring or summer is the best time to do it because that's their active growing period. So then it will grow faster after, and it will also root faster. So yeah. All right, so as you can see, I'm wearing my gloves because I don't want to get the latex on me. The sap from this is called latex because it's like a rubber latex, hence why it's called a rubber plant or a rubber tree. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold it underneath and before I make the cut, so that in case it drips. And you also want to identify where you make the cut so that it has a node so that it will grow. So you want to cut it like right above an existing leaf. So like here's a leaf. I don't know if you can see that. This leaf that has this damage on it right here. I'm gonna keep that one on. Oh, maybe I'm not. No, I'm gonna cut that one off actually. This damage is from one of our cats playing the cymbals. You know, the cat cymbals to get our attention. So yeah, I'm gonna cut that actually off that leaf when I'm gonna root it. So I'm actually gonna cut right above this next leaf here. And so I'm gonna hold the paper towel underneath in case it drips and just make a cut quickly. And then hold the paper towel right like this so you don't get the sap on you or anywhere else. And it's dripping right now off the plant. So I'm also gonna put a piece of paper towel on the plant like this. And I'm just gonna wipe it down. Just be careful not to get this in your eyes. It is an irritant. And if you have kids or pets around, make sure that you don't want to get that on your kids' skin or eyes or your pets as well. So make sure that your pets aren't around when you do this because it does have an irritant in it. So, and I'm just kind of holding it on here for a little bit just to kind of quell the bleeding just a little bit. So I just kind of left the paper towel right under the cut just in case there's any more bleeding. I'm just kind of leave that there so that it can kind of bleed and the paper towel will soak it up. So I'm just going to leave that on there in the meantime. I'll turn it away from myself just in case my arm gets on it or something. So yeah, I'll leave that for now. Okay, so now that you have your cutting, this is pretty long cutting actually. Lots of leaves on there. Usually I don't like to take this much, but it was just an opportune spot to cut, so it's okay. It will still do fine. Now you want to cut away some of the lower leaves so that you can put it in a vase or in a bottle or whatever. And again, I'm doing this over top of a paper towel, so if the sap comes out, it doesn't get all over the place. And I'll angle the camera down so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so here's my paper towel, and I'm just gonna snip off the lower leaves, and then as soon as you snip them off, you can see the latex coming out of the wounds. You can see it coming out right away, and that's why I'm doing it over top of this. I always hate to cut perfectly fine leaves off, but for this it just works better if you do that. So I cut this last, am I gonna cut the last one? I'm just gonna see. Okay, yeah. All right. So you can see how it's bleeding out. I've got a little bit on the table. Be careful when you handle these leaves that you don't get any in your eyes. I said that before, but I'm just stressing that again. And I'll show you here a little bit closer. This is the latex coming out. It's just leaking out. So dab it a little bit. And then put this aside. And then all you gotta do is put it in the water. There you go. And that's it. So now that you have it in the water, you want to leave it in there for about a month or 2 months. They grow pretty slow, like the roots develop pretty slowly. So give it a month or two. don't give up. Sometimes it looks like it's never going to happen, but it will. You just have to give it some time. And the most important part is to keep it warm. It doesn't really matter if you put it in bright light or not. Not so much. Like bright indirect is what these guys like anyways, but just keep it warm. The warmer the bottle is, then the faster the roots will grow. I mean, obviously don't boil it. Like don't put it right onto a heat vent or something, although it might be okay. Anyways, I'm rambling. Keep it warm. Don't get it cold. If you keep it warm, the roots will develop a lot faster. Yeah, so that's all you do. You put it in a warm spot, and then in a month or two, you'll have roots. So I have actually already prepared some of these so that I can show you what it looks like when they root. And I did this one about 2 months ago, and I did this one about a month ago. Or was it the other way around? Actually, I think it was this one that I did 2 months ago, and this one was 1 month ago. Whatever. But you can see that this one has lots of roots on it now. That's what it looks like when it's out of the water. Lots of nice roots on it. I'm just gonna stick it back in for now. And then this one, I think this is the one I did a month ago. Yeah, because it doesn't have as many roots. The roots are not as thick. So that's what that one looks like. And you can see, I'm not going to pull it out because it's kind of hard to get back into this vase. But yeah, so you can see that has lots of water roots on there. And water roots are a little bit different than soil roots. But once you stick it in the soil, they will actually develop the actual soil roots. And I'll show you how to do that as well. So I just took it out of the water. And now I'm just gonna stick it into some soil. And so this is a pot that I've already prepared with some pre-moistened, well-draining potting mix. And I'm just gonna make a little hole in the middle, like this. And then basically all you do is just stick it in there and make sure all the roots are in the soil. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. There we go. And then just kind of gently press the soil around just so that it stays upright. And there you go, and that's all there is to it. Okay, so here it is in its little pot. I don't really have the correct size over pot right now, so I just stuck it in this so that the water doesn't get everywhere. But yeah, and obviously you want to give it a good watering. I already pre-moistened the soil, and then after I put it in here, I gave it another good watering. Let all the water drain out to the bottom, and then put it in an overpot or on a saucer or something, just so it doesn't get wet everywhere. And yeah, and then you want to put it in bright indirect light. These guys can actually take quite a bit of direct sun as well. So you can put it even in a south-facing window. Maybe not right against the window. Sometimes it can get quite hot, and especially in the summer. So maybe a little bit away from the window. But bright light is good for these guys, and it should grow pretty quick. Okay, so I think this has pretty much stopped bleeding now. I'm just kind of dabbing it a little bit. I think it's okay now. But you can see, I'll lift it over here. I'll back you guys up a little bit so you can see. Okay. So you can see that's where I made the cut, where the little white is right here. And that will eventually kind of scar over, and then the new growth will start coming right out of here. And that's where it's gonna keep growing, basically. Yeah. And as you can see here, it's been pruned lots of times, the main one. And all of these little ones that are in the sides here, this one, this whole stem, and then the one that we cut, this one, and then this one on the other side here, these were all propagations. So these were all cuttings from from this one plant, and I just keep sticking them on in the same soil over and over again, and then it just makes it look all nice and full like this. And yeah, so this plant is actually really old. This is still from Germany, actually. My mom actually brought this. Actually, I shouldn't say that. My mom didn't bring this. I mean, somebody brought this from Germany. But yeah, so it's quite old, and I actually rescued it from her. It was, when I got it, it was just one long stick with one leaf on it, and she had given up on it, and I said, no, I'll fix it for you. And this is what it looks like now, after about I don't know how many years, maybe 8 years, maybe 8 years or so, maybe a little bit longer. And the only reason why it's not bigger is because I keep chopping it and propping it. And also there's been times where I had it in not so favorable conditions for it, lower light conditions that it needs, and moving around with it quite a bit. So that's probably why it's not as big as it could be, because these guys, if you have them in the proper conditions, they get pretty big and fast. So they're pretty fun. Okay, so I hope this was helpful, and I'd like to hear your stories, your success stories with propagating these little rubber plants, rubber trees, Ficus Elastica Burgundy in this case. Let me know. Let me know how it went for you, and I will give you guys an update on this little guy when he or she gets a little bigger. And until then, check back soon for another video, and also subscribe to my channel so that you never miss an episode. And in the meantime, have fun, enjoy your plants. See you next time. Bye!